Welcome to Enduro 360. I'm your host, Chili White. Today we're here to talk about a new helmet. As you can see, I finally broke down and purchased new Arai XD4 dual sport adventure bike helmet. Now, if you followed, you know I've talked a little bit about this concept before. I tried a couple of these helmets in the inexpensive versions, some of the $100, $150 ones, and just absolutely did not like them. Besides just being kind of an overall, cheap build, they all suffered from the same problem of having a lot of distortion in the visor, particularly if you cracked it open a little bit. My dilemma is I do a lot of street bike riding, dual sport riding, as well as all the regular dirt bike riding we do. My old Arai street bike helmet is over 10 years old. The face shield mechanism has started to come apart, and it's really just worn out. It had to be replaced regardless, so I needed a new street bike helmet. We've got lots of good dirt bike helmets, but when we're really on the road for any significant amount of time, I just want the comfort, the quietness of a good street bike helmet. So, right before the Baja Rally, I finally bucked up and got this baby. I got it in white. I was kind of hoping for silver, but it wasn't available, so white was my second choice. I think it's a good street color because of the visibility. So let's talk about some of the features. I have to say I'm pretty happy about it. Two most prominent things would be the peak and the visor. Like any of the Arai helmets, it's a really good quality visor. It will also prop open in a couple of intermediate positions, even just to slightly crack it. So really good on that respect. What makes it different than the others, as we talked about, is really the chin bar does not stick out as far, so there's not as much curve in the visor that reduces the chance of distortion. Looking through the visor, it's really clear. There's only a couple of places cracked open where you might see any distortion, but certainly suitable all the way around. Now, talking about that distance to the chin bar, because it's really constructed closer to a street bike helmet, if you're coming from a dirt bike helmet, this may feel a little bit claustrophobic to you. I ride in street bike helmets a lot, so I don't worry about it, it's fine. The peak actually is open all the way through here, specifically designed so it doesn't catch too much air, so it'll let air flow through. In general, I have to say for street use, anything up to about 60, 65 miles an hour, it's just fine. You really don't get much pull against the peak. If you turn your head a little bit, you feel a little bit of side pull, but it's not bad. Of course, one of the things about this helmet is it's designed so that this can be completely removed if you're doing just street use. And of course, it's also designed so that you can run the helmet with goggles. I haven't tried that because that's really just not what I intended for. I have no expectation of ever wearing this helmet and goggles at the same time. The peak itself is a little bit flexible, and so one of the things that's kind of nice is you can actually tilt it up or tilt it down fairly easy while riding. I have to say I like that because, again, get late in the day, headed into the sun, it's nice to be able to pull that down just a little bit. Venting on it, typical Arai stuff, works really well. You've got intake vents here, exhaust vents back here, and then you've got the little eyebrow vents actually built into the visor. Those things work really well. So I think it's going to vent well. I do have to say that if you're riding in dirt conditions, in the rain, this would probably be prone to fogging up fairly quickly, but I think with just cracking the visor open just a little bit and it will stay in that position just fine, that will help significantly. Typical Arai construction, this thing absolutely fits like a glove. There is no other helmet in the world that fits my head as good as an Arai does. It feels like it was custom made for me. It does have the newer style quick release cheek pads. I haven't even really played with all of that yet. Again, something else that's kind of typical Arai is this thing's actually fairly heavy, as particularly our dirt bike helmets just seem to get lighter and lighter and lighter. Construction on the Arais has stayed very much the same overall, so the weight really hasn't changed. So a few years ago we wouldn't have called this a heavy helmet, but as the market has moved along, yeah, it does feel heavier than our contemporary dirt bike helmets. Safety-wise, you have to say that Arai is probably as good as anything out there. So far I have to say I'm pretty happy. I really think this is going to be a good choice. I spend a lot of time wearing it with the clear shield and then just putting my sunglasses on underneath. So that way I've got a good day and nighttime setup that I can do without really having to change anything around. I suspect this winter in Baja I'll probably use this a lot. A lot of times if we're riding and it's not dusty, you know, I really don't have the need for goggles. This is going to accomplish everything I need. One of the things I really notice wearing this for dual sport riding compared to wearing goggles is the side ports are much farther open and your peripheral vision is far better. I didn't realize how much I missed that until I put this on and started riding around. I can look around and see what's going on beside me and slightly behind me on the street very easy now. So yeah, I wore this in the Baja Rally. You may have seen some of the photos of that. I have a slight confession. The real reason I needed it was I really kind of needed my glasses to be able to read the roll chart, the rally book, you know, the road book and roll chart during the rally. And that was one of the biggest things that prompted me to do that. So I just put my glasses on underneath, wore it. Most of the time rode with the visor shut or just slightly cracked open. Even in some dusty conditions, yeah, I got a little bit of dust in there, but it wasn't bad at all. So I have to say I'm pretty happy. It was a big chunk of money. One of these things is going to run about $550, and that's the best online price. So it's a big investment, but I got over 10 years out of my last Arai, so I have no reason to expect I won't get the same out of this. All right, there we go. I think I found myself my new street ADV dual sport helmet in the Arai XD4. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon.